Glamour.
Grit. Glamour.
Grit. Glamour. Grit.
Can you imagine a community where health isn't just a privilege? It's a promise. Well, Texas Health Resources is working every day to make that a reality. Donations made to Texas Health through Texas Health Resources Foundation put programs to work inside the walls of the hospital and out into the community. From excellence in patient care to saving lives through early cancer detection or providing food for a hungry family. The foundation collaborates with its community of donors to fund the programs that are the closest to our donors' hearts. At the Texas Health Resources Foundation, health begins together. Find out all the ways you can help at texashealth.org/foundation.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Glamour and Grit. I am so excited because we're finally back to Celebrity Mondays for season 2. Today's a very, very special episode. We've been waiting a long time for this. I know you're just giddy right now.
I'm literally dying. Our lineup of guests, season 2, is absolutely insane. But when we confirmed this woman, that was it. She is the starter. She is the queen. She has to be our first episode.
So she's kicking us off with a bang, and then we've got an amazing lineup of guests following, but we thought we'd start right at the top. So let me just kind of briefly bring you up to speed on who we've got today. She's a comedian. She's a stand-up comedian. She's an actress. She's an author, best known for her stand-up work. She's got a special on Netflix right now, I'm Every Woman, which is top 10 specials on the platform.
Woman.
She just released her book, What in the World? Make sure you get it. Sandy's already read it cover to cover.
Cover to cover in one day, and it's released September 24th. So I think this might be the Monday after. So hopefully it's sold out. But if not, get on a wait list to get this book.
Get on that list now. Variety named her top 10 comics to watch 2023. She's starring as Reese Witherspoon's sister in You're Cordially Invited, which is hitting theaters in January with Will Ferrell. She's the Tennessee queen. Guys, please help me welcome to the podcast, Miss Leanne Morgan.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I want an Emmy.
Oh, wait, that's one of our questions, too, because one day you will win that Emmy. And I think after what we talk about, I have been fully stalking you for years and years and years. And literally, I think what you made everyone feel like is obviously I'm Every Woman, but a lot of us were away from our parents during quarantine or away from our sisters or away. I think we went to you like, I think I remember you during COVID say, I think everything's going to be okay. And we went to you for our like motherly, sisterly, daughterly advice. We just knew that everything was going to be okay because Leanne Morgan told us everything was going to be okay.
And my darling.
It's so true. And I just remember, if you're from the South, Eric calls it Saintyisms, and I just think it's Southern womanisms. We just are a different breed of woman. And we have quirks, and you were just the definition. I remember showing Eric and being like, look, I'm not the only one. She says it too.
Now, being from small town Tennessee, right?
Yes, 500 people.
Okay,
Adams,
very,
Tennessee.
very small town. I just remember when we came back to Fort Worth, Texas, and I came with Sainty, and everyone was like, oh, Sainty is different. She is like this larger-than-life personality and does all these things that people weren't used to in her town here in Texas. And so when we came back, everyone was like, oh my gosh, it's Sainty. Do you feel back in Tennessee, like, do you have that sort of... is everybody kind of buzzing about you and you feel like, I don't know, it's got to be crazy for such a small town in Tennessee to have such an explosive, on the scene, in your face, comedian, actress extraordinaire to be living there. Do you find it?
I think so, but I'll tell you, everybody's more concerned about going to see the Bell Witch. There is a demon there, my darling. I grew up with a demon ghost story called the Bell Witch, and not the Blair Witch, not the Blair with the snot, not that whole thing. This was
Bell.
the LL Witch, like Bell. And people come from all over that love ghosts and demons, come to our little town to go in the cave and to read, because there's been movies about it. Donald Sutherland and Sissy Spacek starred in a movie about it, The American Haunting. And so I think I'm second
To the
to a
Bell
demon.
Witch.
What I'm trying to tell you, I think, yes, I think people are proud of me and they're like, oh my gosh, Leanne, and they all support me. And the organ player, Miss Shelby, always comes to my shows. It played the organ in the Methodist. For years when I couldn't get arrested, and I'd go to the comedy club at Zany's in Nashville. They'd all come, and my Sunday school teachers and all that. But yes, I think they're proud of me and they're buzzing about me. But I think I'm second fiddle to a witch.
Oh, damn that witch.
And I think I'm third fiddle, really, because I went to high school. I graduated 42 people. We were all farming kids. And these 4 boys in our class were very talented. One went to Juilliard as an actor. And then, but they were all musical, and they started a band called the Red River Boys. And I think they even got kind of a record deal at one time. I think they did. And then they decided all to just go to college and forget about it. And I just went to my 40th class reunion last year, and I put on a girdle, and I bought a new dress, and I wore a big heel, honey, a big old stack platform heel, thinking, and they just announced I was going to be in a movie with Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell, and I felt pretty good.
Oh.
And I walk in there, and we had barbecue and coleslaw, and people brought their own liquor. There was not a bar. When I tell you country sweet people, and we were in a hotel convention thing. It wasn't even a convention thing. It was like a little room in a tiny hotel. Anyway, they got the Red River Boys to sing, and all these boys who I grew up with in church and school, and I love, and they're my dear friends. They were all in dad jeans. They all had on Lands' End, LL Bean kind of dad jeans. One of them prayed before we ate our barbecue.
So nothing changed.
And they got up and sang, and girls, my friends, were going, and listen to them sing Elvira. Because when they were, in the 80s, they were singing Elvira. And one of them's an engineer and very introverted. And I could tell he was mad that he had to be up there. He didn't want to sing. But anyway, everybody was so much more enthralled by singing the Red River Boys, who are now in their late 50s. Wow. And I was like, and I wanted to say, I'm going to be in a movie with Reese Witherspoon. Nobody cared. Everybody.
I was about to say, you probably have her cell phone. Being like, come on, y'all, I can call Will and Reese.
That's what home is good for, keeping you humble.
It does keep you humble.
Yeah, it keeps you humble. You're right, baby. That's what they do. They bring you down.
Okay, your sweet, sweet agents, I love your entire team. They sent me a preview copy of your book, What in the World? September 24th released. I finished it in one day. One day.
But to be honest, don't blow smoke.
No,
my fanny.
It is so damn funny and sweet. And I love that you start at the very beginning and you talk about your parents, because your parents are so crucial to your social media presence. And we hear a lot about your family. And oh my God, just the way you talk. And you don't have, I don't think you do, but have a ghostwriter, because it is literally written how it spews out of your mouth. Like, I felt like I kept reading it in your accent because of and it's so you and the way it goes. And I just love, the way you talk about Chuck Morgan is, I giggle so hard because Southern women don't realize we talk about our husbands like, no offense to y'all, but a little POSs, pieces of shits, because we love them so much. And only we are allowed to talk to them, but never talk about our husbands like that. But we can talk to them about.
No. If somebody said something about Chuck Morgan, I would fight to the death. But I can talk about him.
Thank you. It is, and I always say that's a healthy marriage, because my parents were always, we giggle that Rusty Reed, who I think you're performing at my dad's company, Higginbotham, in the spring. They officially signed you off.
Oh, good.
He's tickled. Yay. So he's so excited about it. But I'll never forget, my dad, Eric, never realized with Southern people, we fight and then we love so hard. And just the whole book is just talking about, I always giggle at like the end of most chapters is a little thing about Chuck Morgan. And kind of we got to keep Chuck humble. And which I got to meet Chuck in Seaside, and he is the sweetest, kindest, most gentle
How does he handle and deal with kind of being a part of your routine? You bring him up, you talk about him. Was there like a warming up period where you needed to like brace him for impact, or was it just kind of always expected?
Yeah, well, okay, big Chuck Morgan, very introverted, brilliant, academic, all that. Fell in love with me because I was so cute. And you read in the book, I had gotten married real early, got divorced. I mean, I was an idiot. When I read the audio, Eric, I thought what I took away from my own book was, man, I was stupid. And then I had to go through a whole thing where I had to forgive myself and then think about that little 17 to 25-year-old girl and go, it's okay. It's going to be all right. I went through all kinds of emotions about all that. But anyway, Chuck Morgan, you talking about exact opposite from me. But has always supported what I was doing. And when I first started doing comedy, I did a bit about, I said, I just had 3 babies and was nursing, and my breast I just ruined my breast, is all it was to. And I
said, with me,
I did a bit that I want to get my breast done, but it's been a bad mobile home year. My husband is in mobile home sales. Okay. And has always worked for a mobile home company and has been with them for 30 years. But years ago, I mean, he's very competitive and overachiever and driven. And so I said that about, I get my breast done, but it's been a bad mobile home year. And that's the only time in my act that he has said to me, don't you ever say anything about me as a provider. I could write a check for your breast right now. And I said, I'm sorry, because he's always been a saver and I'm a spender and I piss money away at McDonald's, taking children to back then. Now young girls know not to feed them all that. But anyway, he was so hurt because he has pride in taking care of our family, and he has been the head of our family, and we're, biblical about all that. And I said, I will never do that again. Now, he doesn't care if I talk about how, I have to have sex with him on Sunday morning before church so that we can go eat chicken afterwards because my children love chicken. He doesn't care about that. He says, he goes, Leanne, I've got more fans than you've got. Now that's what he says, because people love Chuck. And all these men, I think I do it out of love. And I talk about, that Chuck Morgan's got a 401k, and if it weren't for him, I'd be in a hole. And that he wears a half C up at night in a toboggan, because I've got the air conditioning down to 62 degrees and I'm freezing him to death. Men, I think, have been so precious to me because they're all Chuck. I have women say to me all the time, I'm married to Chuck Morgan. And so I think he's very good about it. I know that's a long way to talk about that, Eric, but he's got a good sense of humor about it, and he's very secure about when I talk about him. But I do it in a way, he's been a good provider and all that, but yes, he's peculiar. He is peculiar. He's had too much testosterone. I've had to do terrible, vulgar, terrible things with little children in a hotel room. I have to go in the bathroom with Chuck. I mean, if you knew what I've been through.
Will he even listen and watch anymore for the nervousness of what might come out? Because like her mom won't listen to our podcast because she's just like too nervous.
This will be the only episode I think she listens to.
Oh, she'll listen to the guest episodes.
Yeah,
but when it comes to our solo stuff, she gets way too nervous. She's like, what if you say something I can't listen to? Is that him, or is he already is he fully?
No, I think he's numb to it. And you know what he does? This is Chuck. If I'm at the Ryman or the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, if he can drive, because he's still running a division of a company and is still works all the time. People say, does he travel with you? He'll go to the Wynn with me if he can play blackjack and play golf, something like that. But he does not travel with me all the time. He's still got a big job. But he will, like the Ryman, he'll go, you're merch people, which now I have new merch people. But back a long time ago, he goes, they can't. It's some little woman that doesn't know how to work an iPad. I'm coming to sell. And he will listen, and he'll know what I'm saying, and he doesn't care. He's more worried about those merch sales. He's a math man.
That's a boy.
Keep it going.
Boy.
I'll never forget, you said in your book, and it was so inspiring for me because I have a 2 and a 4-year-old at home, and you would raise your babies all day, wait till they went down, drive, I think it was to Austin at the time, do your comedy show, and then drive home, be home by 2 a.m., and wake up at 6 to do it all over again. How did at that time was just doing the comedy filling your cup enough? I mean, because that is so much and so draining. And to be able, I mean, that's what I love with this book, especially for young moms. I think they should read it because the way that you lit that fire still within you, I think sometimes when you have babies at home, you forget that we're people too, because you're just somebody's mom. And I just love that you did that for yourself. Did you ever think like, what am I doing? Or the drive home being like, or was every night those laughs just enough to fill your cup to keep going?
Guys, if you know me, you know that I am a health freak. I like to keep things clean in my body. And I will say, when I'm drinking tequila, I only want to drink La Pulga tequila because it is 100% agave, which means it's got just agave yeast and water in its mix, and it has 0 additives. The best part, it's a Fort Worth founded company, and it's made in the highlands of Jalisco, Mexico. Y'all, you need to believe me when I say that you deserve a high-quality, additive-free tequila so when you wake up that next morning, you are not feeling groggy. And La Pulga is my tequila of choice. I want it to be yours because you'll thank me later. Also happens to be the tequila of Horned Frog Nation. So come on, y'all. Go Frogs. Go La Pulga tequila. Get yourself a bottle and try it. You won't be sorry.
Are you looking for something to do during Hispanic Heritage Month that celebrates who you are or where you are from? Or maybe you're just learning about different customs and cultures. If that is you, make plans to visit the National Cowgirl Museum located in Fort Worth, Texas, across from Dickies Arena. On Expedition is a multi-gallery expedition that explores the soltaderas in the Mexican Revolution and makes connections with the modern-day escaramuza chara. Those are the daring women who ride side saddle in intricate patterns at a gallop. There is a stunning portrait exhibition by Constance Jeggi, paired with the original works of poetry from the Texas poet Laureate Arena Silva and the UCLA Writing Project fellow Angela Syons. For more information, go to cowgirl.net and follow the museum on Facebook and Instagram.
I don't even know how to explain it. I feel like, honest to goodness, it's like a spiritual, supernatural thing for me. I felt like it was something I had to do, even if it was hard, and it was. And they were 3, 5, and 7 at the time. It's just something. I felt like God just like opened that door for me, and I just was like, I got to do it. I got to do it. Like, this is me. This is who I am. I've got to do it. And I would have friends go, what are you doing? You know, and people, they don't mean to like squash your dreams, but people are like, yeah, okay, she's going to be a comedian. You know, when I say,
Totally.
I'm a comedian, and they go, oh, yeah, right. Yeah. What do you really do? I don't know. There's just something in me that I thought, this is who I am. This is what I'm supposed to do. And I got to keep going. And I did, but I was a mama first, and I breastfed my children. They had a family bed. I was very much a kumbaya kind of mama, and I was involved in everything. And I don't feel like they had to sacrifice. There were some things that I missed, and through the years, but not much.
No.
But I just felt as passionate about raising them as I did, like, I've got to keep going. This is in me. This is who I am. I got to do it. It wasn't
God
like,
bless you
this is
for
something fun. I want to try it. It was like, this is who I am. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I felt like God revealed that to me. I'm not kidding y'all. When I was 9, 10, I mean, I just thought, I'm going to Hollywood. I mean, and my little mama would go, yes, you are. And other people go, okay. And I'd feel like, maybe something's wrong with me. There were times when I would go, maybe I'm like those kids on American Idol that think they can sing. I would have, terrible moments, like everybody does in entertainment. But but there was some underlying drive that I thought, I got to go. I got to keep going.
And that's just it. That is the inspiration. I mean, a town of 500 people from Tennessee, you're not surrounded by the industry. You have no idea that it's possible. And you have a love and you have a drive and you go for it and you make it happen for yourself. That's like the most inspiring, the American dream thing that I can even think to think about. Because anybody can do that. That's just a testament to follow your gut, follow your dreams, and go for it. We all did the same thing. Like, we're in professions. We're actors and voiceover artists and comedians. And they're like, we didn't grow up around it, but that's what it is. If you love it and you fight for it, it can happen. And you're just such testament to that. I love that. Can we talk for a second? Because you brought it up. Yeah, I'm so proud of you. I can't even, you're just such an inspiration.
Thank you,
but you touched on the movie, You're Cordially Invited. And I just want to know what we can tease here. Nick Stoller is one of my favorites. I mean, Sandy, if you don't know, he directed Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Neighbors.
Course.
He wrote Zoolander 2. I mean, everything. Fun with Dick and Jane, like you name it. So he's just, iconic. First of all, what was it like working with Nick? And second of all, what can you tell us about the film?
Oh, my Lord, y'all. If I could tell y'all, everybody on that set wanted to see me win, and they knew I didn't know what I was doing, and they knew I was freaked out. And Nick Stoller truly is one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. And I'll tell you this story. I just had to have my breast redone because I nursed all those babies, got big implants, honey, in the 90s. I went through menopause. They were as big as Reese Witherspoon's head in this movie. And I called Nick Stoller. That's how close I feel to Nick Stoller. I go, I know this is I don't want to freak you out, Nick, but I just want to ask you your opinion because aesthetically on film, because I got to be on TV, what size breast do you think I need? And he goes, you can tell, he was like, Leanne, and he talked that through with me.
Oh,
he is precious and so funny. And then everybody said to me, though, they go, you'll never find this sweet a set with this many encouraging, precious people. Like we laughed all day long every day. And I go, really? What's normal? And they go, oh, somebody's always a butthole. There was not a butthole on this thing. And they go, you'll never find it as fun as you will this time. And then I got scared and I thought, because I want to do another movie. And I thought, oh, I don't know if somebody's going to yell at me. But they were precious. And he would say to me, because I knew, I've watched Saturday Night Live all my life. And I knew, and Step Brothers. And, to me, this movie is like Bridesmaids meets Father of the Bride meets Step Brothers. I mean, just wacky, nuts, wacky, funny, but heartfelt and darling. But I know that they riff. I know that they would just improv. And but I've never worked that muscle. I always wanted to. I got to do one semester in high school. But Nick Stoller would yell out at me, Leanne, talk about your breast or what they're like after you have a baby, or Leanne, do
in the middle of a scene.
He would let me riff, and at first I was, scared out of my mind, and then I got more comfortable with it. And then by the end of it, I thought, oh, I wish I could do this over again because now I kind of know how it works. But anyway, Precious, Will Ferrell, darling. He walked on stage. You just bust out laughing. He never said, he didn't even say anything. We all died.
How are you getting through takes with actors like that? I mean, is it just constantly, all right, we got to try that again. We got to try that again because you're just breaking in the middle of a scene?
Breaking, laughing. Yes, just yes. Yes. And then we do it different times just to see, like, just let anybody just roll with it and see. That's how fun it was, and just open and I don't know what to compare it to, but Jack McBrayer is in it. And, he's been Talladega Nights and, everything. And he just said, oh, Leanne, this is the best experience you could ever get. You've hit the jackpot with this. Because everybody was so loving and warm. And little Reese Witherspoon, I said this with her one time to a crowd. Dolly Parton's always said she's got a little angel sitting on her shoulder, and she lets that little angel eat half her food. That's why she's so tiny. She leaves that food for that little angel. Well, I said, Reese Witherspoon is my little angel that sits on my shoulder, but I'm eating everything for her. But You talking about somebody wanting me to do well and wanting to see me win. That little thing got me that part. I know she did.
Oh,
And we had met before that years ago. She probably didn't even remember it, but she was precious to me. Then she started following me during the COVID
Yes.
and she would message me and go, Leanne, you keep telling everybody it's going to be all right because I think you're helping people. And that meant the world to me. So anyway, yeah, I mean, I cannot tell y'all how darling. I cannot wait for it to come out. I think y'all are going to love it. It's very heartfelt. It's wacky,
Oh,
nutty.
was Nick kind of your champion there, or was it Reese? Was it one of the producers? Like, did you get a call, from your agents saying that they're really interested in you in this? They want you to come, meet or test or any of that, or was it just kind of like?
Yes. Okay. Yes, I was doing a casino in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, where Janet Jackson had just been, and that was a big deal to me
Wow.
because I'm a Janet Jackson. She's my age. We both ovulated in our 50s. I just gotten off stage. They called me and they go, Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell want you to do a table read for this movie. And I said, what's a table read? And then I felt like I was going to have diarrhea.
Uh-huh.
They go, we're going to reroute you. You're going to go to LA and do this. And I was like, oh my Lord. I called my little friend that was in the Red River Boys in a pair of Lansing and Dad's jeans, David, and Alfred, who is a wonderful actor and does theater. And then he was on ABC, Nashville. Remember that show,
Of
Nashville, about the
course.
country music stars? He played Bucky. I called David. I go, what's a table read? What the? And he goes, Leanne. He goes, they must want you. Just be yourself. I really and truly think they wanted you for this. They see something in you. She's met you. I would just read through there, put your Leanne on it. That's what I do. I'd put Leanne in it. And that's what I did. And I was in this big table read with all these people. I've never seen anything like it. I've never been anything like that. Will Ferrell walks in a workout suit and Adidas suit. I thought I was going to die. I am a huge fan of Will Ferrell. Little Reese came and straddled me, jumped in my arms, straddled me. I held her like a baby. Made me feel like, oh, you're supposed to be here. And then Nick Stoller, precious. I mean, just like I could have. He went to Harvard, so there's no way we would have ever gone to college together. But if we had of, like I would have wanted to talk and not do our homework. He's that kind of boy.
Oh my God. Well, and I think people don't realize this wasn't your first start at fame. Because in 2007, right before then, you were discovered by really the creators of Roseanne and the Bill Cosby Show to do a show all around you. And then I don't think people realize as actors and comedians, you can be thinking your whole life is about to change, that you are going to be, we've had so many times where we have packed up and we're going to be stars. I was like, oh my God, we're going to be millionaires. I'm already thinking in my mind, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to give back to the world.
You get that pilot and you see what the series contract's going to look like, and then the pilot doesn't go.
Oh, and then people don't realize in 2007, there was a writer's strike and the whole world, all of your jobs, everything stopped. Was that just kind of the first time you were like, okay, maybe this is not what, because for me as somebody that wasn't directly in the industry like Eric, I was like, what the hell? This is our whole life. You were going to be a star, and now I can't afford groceries anymore. It just happens overnight, and I don't think, and you're so in it. We have an apartment, you have a cast, everything is in full, and then it's like everything stops. Was that just so wild, or was it kind of like, okay, I love that you kind of always go back to your faith too, and you do in your specials, and in the book, you definitely see that, which is just, I love at the very end, I don't want to give it away, but the book is now out at this point, but you say it was for everything for a reason, because moving your whole family to LA and kind of it was just fate that it didn't happen.
Yes, I truly believe it was God's protection. But at the time, I was devastated. That was my first big rodeo, and it was moving fast. And they were like, we want Paula Deen to play your mother. And they flew me to meet Paula Deen. And she said, I'm not old enough to be your mama, but I'll do it. And then I did a showcase and did comedy in front of NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox back then. That's who it was. And ABC bought it before we got out of the parking lot. And I just, in my mind, I thought, oh yeah, this is it. And they said, Chuck Morgan, don't quit your job. Leanne's going to have to move out for a year or so without your family to make sure that it's going to go and all that. Which I just guess I got so caught up in it that I thought, oh, okay, we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. And then, one day it was over. They were like, sorry, it's over. And I was like, what? I know I went into a depression. I think I had a clinical depression because it was just boom, boom, boom. This was going to happen. We never got to pilot or casting or any of that. I never got that far, but I just was on this big high. And then they go, it's over. And then, I've had deals since then. But I look back on that and I think, oh my gosh, my children were in elementary. One was in middle school. It would have been insane if I had left my family. Now, Ray Romano had to do that, but he was the daddy.
Yeah.
His wife tuned into those children. I could have never left my children. I just got caught up in it and thought, oh, we'll figure it out. But I look back on it and I think, oh my gosh, that was God's protection over us. Then it would happen again and again, and then it wouldn't make it. But it was never like authentic to who I was. I didn't have the guts at the time to go, no, I'm not doing that. Hollywood tends to go, we love you, and let's change you. And I was too weak and too, meek to say, no, that's not what my act's about, or that's not my comedy or whatever. And I think now at this age, at 58, after all these, and I'm about to start shooting a series with Chuck Lorre, and he has said, Leanne, it's you. We want you. This has got to be about you. And I do. I have that confidence now because I think, you know what? I built this thing. I built this by myself.
Mhm.
Went years, couldn't get arrested. Nobody cared. Times I'd be booked, times I couldn't get booked. I kept going and I thought, I know who my audience is. I know what my voice is. And I think this is when it was supposed to happen.
Amen.
Even if I am too heavy in my stomach, I think this was when it was supposed to happen.
Well, can we talk about, you mentioned it, the Chuck Lorre series, because you just went from having your first table read ever for a film, and now you're going to be headlining a series with the greatest comedic showrunner of all time, Chuck Lorre, 2.5 Men, Big Bang Theory. I mean, you name it. How do you go from your first table read to a film to now this Netflix incredible, what did they order, 16 episodes?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? I mean, this is such a blessing and a massive. I'm just so excited for you.
Thank you. You're going to have to tell me how to do it. I don't know what to do. I'm scared, but I'm excited. And and yes, he's the best. He flew to Knoxville, Tennessee to meet my grandbaby. He held my grandbabies. And he was precious. Chuck Morgan is a huge Chuck Lorre fan, watches Big Bang Theory every night. Chuck's kind of a Big Bang Theory kind of guy, math, and relates to them. And yeah, it's crazy. But they've been precious to me. But I really haven't dug into it. They're writing. I'm a writer. So because I've been on tour, I've had to do everything long distance. I mean, I've had a few times when I could go to LA, but that's all beginning. Like it's on like Donkey Kong. I'm about to start going out there and being out there full time and living and doing. And I'm tickled, but I'm scared. They said, well, first of all, I think, I need to get on, is it Prefagen that you can get at Walgreens so you can remember your lines? Little Reese Witherspoon, because Lord, I'm 58 and I'm a grandmother and, things are on my mind. Reese said, I'm going to get you an app. It's just like she's in charge of me.
I love that.
And I tell her, I ask her for advice, and I think she's the smartest thing that's ever been. And she goes, you can learn, you'll be able to learn. You're just going to have to go over it and over it, have somebody read with you, go. I mean, that's what I'm scared of is, I've never done a television show. I don't know.
Do you have
I tell you, Fortune Feimster, the wonderful comedian Fortune Feimster, who is so funny, and Fubar actress and comedian.
Yes, I was actually just telling Eric about her yesterday. So, one of my favorite in the world.
From North Carolina, so funny.
So funny.
She said, she was in that movie, and she goes, Leanne, there's a piece of tape on the floor. Go stand on it and say your line. That's how much I did not know So somebody's going to have to do that for me now.
Do you find, because I mean, you know, translating it to the camera and, you know, there's so many different nuances that you're going to be learning along the way, but do you feel like, oh, do you have like a coach that's going to come along this journey with you to kind of get you there? Or are you just kind of relying on what got you to this place, which is you, and just kind of letting it work itself out with these amazing producers and directors?
Honey, what should I do? I don't know. Maybe they should have a coach. Because when years ago, when I'd have those other deals, they go, we'll get you a coach and we'll do it, you know, but nobody said it, I don't think now.
Well, if they're not bringing it up or saying anything, you just be doing exactly what you're
know.
doing, which is probably so refreshing for
You'd
them
be
to
like
see.
my dream co-star. It's like, because it's so, I'm the type, I'm just very, I mean, we met and like I fell in love with you immediately. And we're just such people that sometimes in the actor world, no offense to y'all, they're just more intense or more. I love to play, and like what the first TV show I did was Dennis Leary, and he's such a player. He will play all day, shoot the shit. I was so used to that. I was like, oh, not everything is like this. Like I can't just play, but I can't imagine having a whole series that is mine. How blessed though, and I bet Chuck has to feel like that. Somebody to come in and just be such a light of life and fresh air. And you are, like I said 1,000 times, when you meet you, you are everything people want you to be. And it's such a dream,
darling.
and it's so genuine. And I can't wait. It's what our TV world needs.
When do y'all start filming?
October. The beginning of October.
In LA?
In LA. Warner Brothers.
Are you excited to be an LA girly?
I am. I'm scared, but I mean, I'm just the unknown. But my baby child is a professional makeup artist, and she is with me on tour, and she is going to be my makeup artist on this television show. And she's 26,
Good.
and she's got sense, and she knows how to drive in traffic. So I feel like she's kind of like my caretaker.
Yes. Well, and to have your family
daughters,
there.
be so thankful y'all got a daughter. I mean, they tend to you. So she's going to be tending to me and doing my makeup, and I'll have her. My husband, I guess he'll come back and forth. I've got to see these babies. I will have breaks where I can go home. I'll be home for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then I hope to fly them out. But yeah, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Amazing. I cannot believe it. That is so freaking exciting. Well, and I love one of your daughters' name is Maggie Morgan. Even though Morgan's her last name, our daughter's Molly Morgan. And I literally told my mom after that, I was like, wait, Mom, is Maggie like meant to be my best friend? Like I felt so bad. I was meeting like one of my idols, yet at the same time, I'm sitting there talking to Maggie the whole time. Because I love your family so much.
Thank you, my darling. They love y'all. They loved y'all. Your mama drove us around on that golf cart.
Oh, well, and Molly Reed will be coming to LA. She is Miss Beverly Hills Hotel. We giggle most of the time that we come. We lived there for so long. I'm like, how does Molly Reed know everybody in this town? And we can't even get like drive through there. I mean, it's so amazing. But
she's a talker like me. Yes. She's a talker.
She has the Southern
effect. And we stood in line. We stood in line at that coffee shop and talked, and just like we'd known each other all of our lives.
No, I love that, and that's how she felt. That is, I think, what the best part about you is. Like I said it before, where everybody knows your name. You want to go, just like in Cheers.
I'm a little nervous, not nervous, but like I also want to know, because I know you're going to be shooting the show. It's going to take so much out of you. You're going to have so much dedication. Are you going to still be doing your stand-up? Are you still going to be touring and getting out there? Because for all of us fans, we want to know if we'll still be able to see you. You're not going to stop, right? Because of the show?
Right, because I've got a special to shoot next June for Netflix.
Great.
So I've been touring on this hour for about a year, but because of the television show came up, we're going to push the Netflix special to June to shoot that. And so I'm going to keep me on stage so I can remember it and be ready for the special. I'm going to tour throughout this, not every weekend, but they're going to put me in. I'm going to be out here some, but it's mostly like Thousand Oaks, California, San Jose, Phoenix, Las Vegas, where it'll be a short flight, but I can stay on stage, Palm Springs, all those kind of, but I'm coming back to do Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. I'll do Fishers, Indiana, and then this spring I've got more dates coming up. But it's like heavy touring like I've been doing. I've been touring like Elvis with Colonel Parker putting his head down in ice because he just took heroin or whatever to get back up. It felt like that, but it's been wonderful. But now this will be spotted throughout.
Well, amazing.
Okay,
You're still taking care of the fans, and I know we got to wrap things up.
Oh,
And
wait, I have a quick question, though.
Okay.
I know, we're going to keep fighting on this, because I just find it so interesting, too. Are some days where you're like, I just don't want to be on. I don't want to be funny today. Is there something that gets you in that mindset, or like what is it? Because I know sometimes for me, I'm just like, I'm just not in the mood today. Like, I just don't want to be, because people, I think, especially from you, they always expect me to be happy. And I always am. I really am, genuinely in my heart. But, sometimes you're on your little lady. You're just having a bad day. Do you how do you get in that where you're like, oh my gosh, I can be like that because people aren't paying me to be, sainty that day if I don't have to be. Is there something that you do where you're like, okay, get back in the mode? Or is it just that sound of the audience that just kind of revs you up back again?
Yes, honey. I go out there and see a darling woman blowing kisses at me, standing up and blowing kisses at me before I've ever said a word. And because there are times when I'm tired and, our flight got delayed and we're all freaked out and you're like, I don't feel like this. And then it's that energy. And I'll just tell y'all, I don't mean to be sappy, but I've got the sweetest fans in the world, and they want to see me win, and they feel like I'm speaking to them. And because I'm in a lane by myself, this demographic, I'm so lucky. I've got women that have kind of been forgotten, I feel like, kind of been unseen. Nobody on Netflix represents women, a grandmama, me,
Yes.
a grandmama talking about her stomach and perimenopause and menopause. And so I think they feel seen and heard by me, and they go, look at her. She got out. If she can do that, I can go back to school. I can go learn how to be a yoga instructor or whatever somebody's dream is. It's more than comedy. And so they give me that energy, and I can feel it. And it's love. It is love. It's the women who have sent my mama recipes when she had a stroke. It's the women who have sent my grandbaby something. It's people I know that are praying for me or just want to see me win. And it is easy to get back into it. It is easy to go back when I see them. Now, am I always right on? No. And I can't stand it. Like if I'm doing a show and I can get through it and I can be kind of on, not autopilot, but I know that I can do it. But there's times when I feel like I could do no wrong. I'm riding a wave like a surfer. It's unbelievable, magic. And then there's other times where it just doesn't feel like that. And I don't want to disappoint the audience. I can still get through it and I can do my act and but it's not that magic. And that, that happens to me, but rare, but that happens to me.
Well, and I will say this too, and you said the demographic. I'm going to get emotional saying this, but because I am in the thick of it, and I think especially, I'm going to say it over and over, everybody read your book, because it just reminded me, like, it's okay to take this time. Like, if it doesn't happen now, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
Right.
And I think that's where people think, especially in the entertainment industry or anybody, like you said, going back to school for something, you think like, well, if I don't do it now, it's never going to happen. Or I won't be as successful as I would if I start now. It's right. You just like revved that up. Eric kept telling me to be quiet in the middle of the night because I would be giggling at the stuff because I read in like everybody goes to bed and that's when I'm able to read, and I have it on my little net gallery. And it was so, I'm so thankful for that. And I think we don't hear that enough. And you're so real. I'm just such a big fan. And I know I'm going on and on about it, but it's just a reminder to every young mom too. Because I don't think people realize, that's why I think everybody goes to your show, because we're either going to watch our mom or you tell stories of when you are us.
Yeah.
And it's so
Thank you, my darling.
beautiful.
And I hope little mamas understand, because I remember wanting that so bad. And Comedy Central, in my industry, Comedy Central did not want me. I was in a kitten hill and a capri pant with a bird on it in Austin with a bob, an unfortunate bob, talking about somebody doo-dooing on a t-ball field. Comedy Central did not want me, and I would be so hurt, and I would think, well, it's never gonna, what am I doing and all that. But I feel like I'm wiser. I'm better at my craft than I've ever been. I mean, good night. I'm 58. I mean, in any profession, you get better as time goes on. The best is coming. You can be with these little babies and tend to them. Reese Witherspoon would say to me every day on that set, Leanne, you got to raise your own children.
Yeah.
And I just didn't realize, people that
Yes.
had gone through all that didn't get to. And I have. I've been lucky. I've gotten to do both. But yeah, when you're at home and you're in the middle of, everybody's got a stomach bug. Yeah, keep going and just know you're getting better and better. And there's a reason. And, God's putting that, He's ahead of it. He's got that path for you, and it's all going to make sense.
Well, Miss Leanne, thank you so much for spending your time with us today and for spreading your wisdom and for inspiring everybody. We're so excited to watch your star keep shining and rising. And before we leave, we always like to end each episode with asking our guests what your glamour and your grit is right now in life. So something glamorous that you're feeling and something gritty that's kind of, we're all dealing with stuff. Even when all of this stuff looks so amazing and glamorous, we're also dealing with stuff. And so we'd love to know what your glamour and your grit is right now. And it could be something small or it could be something big, whatever.
Okay, my darling. I think my glamour would be I'm going on a book tour, and I do now have a woman that dresses me for big things like that to hide my stomach.
Yes.
Yay! Because I make some missteps, let me tell you. I've got some good ones and I got some bad ones.
Oh.
And sweet people on the internet named Deborah tell me.
Oh, God. Well, I've got my
boy.
Spanx on right now, too. You always, my shirt's tucked into them.
What would we have done without Spanx?
Amen.
And I met the Sarah Blakely that invented them, and I told her, I said, I could have never gone to a wedding without you.
No.
Okay, and then my grit would be I'm taking care of my little elderly parents. I don't get to as much as I used to, and I've got the most precious mom and daddy, and my mom's in a wheelchair and had a stroke, and but she's doing great really for what she's been through. But that's the hard part. And I know when people, like my sister, a lot of it falls on her right now, and she'll go, you get to go do glamorous stuff. And I do. And then, but I think it just kills me that I can't be with them. And it worries me when I'm in LA that I'm not with them and they're 80 and 84. And so that's the hard part right now in my life. But everybody's going through it my age. You've got elderly parents and you've got children you're trying to launch, and we all go through that, but that's the hard part. I want them to be all right, and I want to be with them.
Well, we'll keep her and them in our prayers.
Yes.
Thank
Oh,
you.
that literally,
Thank you,
your mom
angel.
is doing the exact same thing right now. It's so hard.
So hard. All right. On a happy note, I want Sainty to tell me where you got your shirt, your breeches, your boots, so that I can get them for my boy, because he's kind of got your vibe, but you're, Hollywood. So I want to know, because you are so cute
You're so
in
sweet.
your breeches and your shirt.
I know.
So
he
sweet.
really.
Well, I will say the boots are from Tecovas, which are the best. Luke Casey's, of course, you're going to be spending a lot of money for those nice boots. These are more affordable, and my day-to-day, I love Tecovas. This shirt is actually from Howler Brothers, but I'm launching a men's Western-inspired clothing apparel line November 7th called Stockyard Supply Company. So I will make sure that you get that link, because it's all these amazing shirts.
We're going to send you stuff. I promise.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
send you stuff.
Okay, let me tell y'all that he wears Howler Brothers. I buy him Howler Brothers now he's got 2 babies and they're young and they don't have a pot to pee in. So but he's got your vibe. He's an outdoorsman, and he's loves old Americana. He played the
He
banjo.
will love
No, we'll
Stockyard
send
Supply.
Okay.
Give me his sizes, and I'll send everything to him. He'll be obsessed.
Oh my gosh. Well, isn't this exciting for you? I am
you.
so tickled.
Thank you so much.
It'll be fun.
You've got that whole, there's something like Willie Nelson, his boys, Hollywood, something going on up in there.
Yeah,
Love it.
God
this
bless
is
you
the
for saying
Taylor
that.
Sheridan effect. I feel like the Yellowstone effect happened with this man.
Where were you raised?
I'm originally from South Florida. Both my parents are from Duluth, Minnesota, but I moved to Manhattan with my family at 13 and started acting on Broadway and stuff as a young teenager. So I've been doing this for 20 years now. I'm only 33, but been in the business for 20 years. So it's been crazy. It's been crazy.
Oh my gosh, my darling.
But my parents were horse people. You know, my dad was a polo player and then a general contractor, and so never came or knew anything of the industry, and just got a lucky break in Florida and got scouted, and they brought us to New York, and then the career started. But just wild. And so when I met a amazing Southern woman in Manhattan, I was
He was
like,
a famous tap dancer. Can you believe?
did that back in the day. Yeah,
That's what got him to New York. Oh, she just had to jump. Emily. Okay, I wanted to make
Oh,
sure
that's
she's
okay, Emily. Go ahead, honey. All right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've always wanted to learn how to tap, but I was from the country and my mama couldn't drive until she was 42. So I didn't get to take lessons.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Oh
Duh.
my gosh. I've always wanted to learn how to tap. Oh,
just all the things.
Okay. You're going to have to write a book.
One
I
day,
know.
one day, one day.
We got to survive these
It'll
two.
kill you. Let me tell you, it'll kill you. You got little children. You may want to wait.
Okay.
It's a lot.
I can't even imagine.
I don't know
But
how
what a
you did it.
story.
Like writing a book, I feel like that is the hardest thing in the entire world.
It's been hard.
And to keep
It's
it
been
like
wonderful.
you. Like it is all you. Like I feel like it's you I read it as you. Which I feel
Well,
like is
and
so
I had
rare.
somebody structure because Lord, I'm disciplined. I can't, I
Me
can't even
too.
stick to Weight Watchers for a week. But I'm telling you, it is draining because this is what I thought the whole time, and I was reading on the audio. I did that last week, and I thought, oh my gosh, I am an idiot. When you look back and you realize, and y'all may have never done a thing wrong in your life. I did horrible things in the 80s. I mean,
Me too.
but anyway, even if I didn't talk about it, I could remember it, from when I would be in it. And I told my literary agent at first when we put the first pass, he goes, "Hey girl," because I was telling every horrible thing that ever happened to me. And he goes, "Hey girl, I mean, you're not Joan Crawford yet." He goes, "How about let's pull back some of that?" And he goes, "Let's do a cookbook next. And then your third one, let's talk about your sin." I go, "Okay." So, but even I think about that, and then the heartache or the trauma or whatever, but it's been sweet because now I'm coming back around and going, you know what? Everybody's stupid, and I've got to give that little girl grace. She did the best she could with what
Yes.
she had at the time, and look at what has happened. You did have it, Leanne. You did know what you were talking about. You weren't one of those kids on American Idol that couldn't sing.
Right,
It's
right.
also empowering because I think I was right. I knew this was supposed to happen. I knew I could do it.
Yeah, it was all for a
And
reason. It's so freaking true. And I
the
loved
thing is,
you even wrote about your best friend breakup. And that chapter made me cry.
oh, it was awful.
But
It was
it was so
awful.
for you to share that though was so cool. I mean, I'm like I'm just
I'm worried about it. I'm worried about doing it. And then, people said to me, "Leanne, a lot of women go through
Yes.
that." And I think that's, helpful to people. They can relate to that because when you go through perimenopause, I don't want to scare you, but I mean, everybody's emotions are running high, and then your little girl's probably going to be in, middle school, and it's going to be happening to her puberty, and then everybody's freaked out, and women like they want their kids to be the most popular. Crazy mess happens. Crazy mess happens, and people just drop people. And I just had never been through that. I'd never been through mean girl stuff.
no.
I've got the same friends I had from high school. I've never fought anybody. It didn't dawn on me somebody could just drop somebody.
No.
So
Are you nervous
it was
after
really,
she
I
reads it?
grieved.
Like, are you thinking that you're like, oh my gosh, like I wonder if I'm going to get a phone call from her now?
Maybe she still asks me for tickets.
Stop.
But now she comes back. Now she's come back around. This is off the record
Yeah,
here,
oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
she was in my act. Like I mean, we were so intertwined, and she acts like nothing ever happened.
Bizarre.
And will text me and go, "Hey, girl, I've got some friends in Birmingham that want to come backstage and meet you." And I do it because I've forgiven her and I've let it go. So I'll give her tickets, and then my baby, Tess, is vindictive, and she takes her off the list. I go, Tess, don't take those tickets off the list.
No, that would be me too. I'd be
Protecting her
like, you
mama.
mess with my mama, you are done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my girls, everybody, my sister would fight her in the street. And my sister is feminine and loves a thank you note and crosses her legs at her ankles. But she would beat her teeth in, honey. My sister would fight a circle saw over me. She's older than me, and nobody ever messed with Beth Fletcher.
Oh my God.
Well, y'all are darling, and I cannot get over. I love what you've got on. I'm loving what he's got on. I am so excited about this clothing line. I will help you in any way I can.
You are so
because
sweet.
I mean, that is my boy. That is my boy.
So
well, that's
sweet.
how I
just-
feel like
Do you have
everyone.
a way for us to get? Okay, great.
And my mom and your son. It's your son-in-law, right?
No, that's Tristan, who is Maggie's boyfriend.
He's
That your mama got close
yes.
to. Tristan, who is precious, and they're dating, and he's a nutrition coach. They're not engaged, and so we love him, but he makes us count our macros, and that's not fun on vacation.
No.
So, we're all prioritizing protein. It's enough to kill
That
you.
is you to a T.
When
I'm too.
I had to try. I was, for roles and such, like gain weight, get bigger, and so I'm like go through periods of it. But yeah,
where I'm sneaking Taco Bell in bed, like he always giggles.
It's obnoxious and annoying that I have that. Yeah, that.
It's our
but
life.
it's what we got to do.
Oh my God, we love you.
I know, and I should do it. I'm going to be on TV. Lord, I'm going to be up here.
You are
with a
perfect.
stomach.
You are going to be such a breath of fresh air for television. I
Do you
can't
know?
even stand
Is it going to be a live audience or?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have to come and watch you.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I would love for y'all to.
Oh, we'll have to because you need some good giggles.
I know I need some good giggles.
We'll be
Y'all are going to have to come and laugh whether you want to or not. Okay, and let me tell you this. When you said that, Jillian Dempsey, Patrick Dempsey's wife, became a fan of mine during the COVID. Well, her mama did. Her little elderly mama was in Texas and was shut in and started watching me and had never watched a comedian. And Jillian Dempsey reached out to me and said, thank you so much. You don't know what this means for my little mama. She has enjoyed you so much. And she goes, I've got a makeup line. And I said, oh, my daughter's a makeup artist, has been following you. And she sent us all of her makeup and all that has been precious. But we had dinner with her in Malibu.
So nice.
And she's at Soho, where you watch those whales flip while you're eating on cushions. Anyway, she goes, Leanne, because I said, she is beautiful. And I mean, she has ran up down that beach and tiny and looked like a movie star. And I said, I saw I did the ADR or whatever it's called for the movie, and I think I need to do something to my neck. I think I don't have a chin. I thought I had a chin. Where did that go? She goes, do not do anything, Leanne. And I thought this was so sweet. She goes, we have all had to live in this and be tormented by all this. She said, you are the one that we can go, oh. She's like, I don't even remember how she said it, but she said, please stay who you are, because we haven't been able to. She said, we've had to worry about all that. These women, can you imagine the women in LA? No telling what those little things have been through. And she said, please, that's why we love you. We feel comfort in you. And I do. I think I'm like a warm blanket or something.
You are.
For a bunch of women that have had to sit and eat chicken and spinach and, be worried about all that. She goes, please don't get out here and start doing stuff to yourself. Please be who you are, because it is comforting to us. And I thought that was sweet.
Well, and that LA isn't the norm either. That we're all more the norm, and we're all the ones watching TV too. Because it's so true. It's like if you see somebody on TV, it just sometimes they look just even too unattainable. Even Reese Witherspoon, she's the most gorgeous, but she looks still like she could be your neighbor. And I think that's why everyone loves her. It's like, I mean, she's your gorgeous next door neighbor, but it's so true. It's like you want them to feel like, oh, if I met you in the street, I could still meet you in the street.
And I tell you who I just met in New York in the Hamptons. That was crazy. And I know y'all been to stuff like that, but I was entertained. I went and did like 20 minutes at this thing, and I met Laura Dern.
Oh,
and she was darling. And she was like, Leanne, my mama's from Starkville, Mississippi. And she's watched her special and we had a ball. And, that kind of stuff is what kills me. It makes me want to bawl my eyes out. But Laura Dern is just came up to me and she was like, yeah, I'm single and I'm trying to date. And she said, everybody's stupid. And she said, everybody says, well, you can date somebody in your 60s. And she goes, the 60s want the ones in the 30s, And she said, I don't want to date, and all that. And we talked just like we were, known each other all our lives, like how much magnesium are you taking?
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, they really are. And then I get so intimidated by hoop-de-doo people and famous people and all that. And then I have to remember, I think, you know what? We're all going to die. That's what I say to myself. We're all going to die someday, which I don't mean that in a morbid way. I know I'm going to heaven. But I think we all put our britches on the same way. Everybody, we're all God's children. Everybody, and when you do meet people, you realize they just want to be loved and have friends, and they don't want anybody blowing smoke up their butt. Mm-hmm. And I'm learning something every day. Every time I'm around people, I think, oh my gosh, these people have gone to Harvard. Nick Stoller went to Harvard.
I can't even imagine.
But he loves me, even though I'm a ball from the University of Tennessee. So, everybody just wants a friend.
Amen.
Everybody just wants genuine and authentic.
One thing I'll say, especially you're going to be spearheading and leading the ship on this new Chuck Lorre show. The worst thing is when an actor who's all excited and is coming in for their table read, whether they're a guest actor, reoccurring, whatever, and the lead going through the table read is so dull and just literally reading the words on the page. And I'm like, wait, how are we supposed to hear and feel the energy and kind of get what we're talking about here? And that happens more oftentimes than not. And I'm always like, the table reads I go to where the lead is bringing the energy and we're all in this together and showing what the show is a night and day experience and truly propels everything from that point on. So if you get to table reads and you're I don't know, that would be my only advice, is to kind of show them, be you, and show them, what you're going to be bringing to this thing, because that's what everyone is so excited to see and hear. And sometimes you'll show up and the actor will just, and then I was Todd saying his lines like this. I'm like, oh, so I literally will have no idea what we're doing on the show until we actually film it.
Okay, well, thank you for that advice, my darling, because I needed to hear that. But
not full out performances, but just at least bringing some energy.
No, but having you be so kind, I'll never forget it. Dennis being so kind to me, and this was 11 years ago, and I still remember it and say it in every interview I ever do, is he made everything amazing for me and just made it so fun. Like what you did with your first table read and what you'll keep doing. It really does. I'm a simple girl from Texas, and he made me feel so important, and I'll never forget it.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Yeah. Well, and really, I do try to be present in this and think, let's have fun, or why are we doing this? Why, if I get to be away from grandbabies and I'm, and my family, let's have a good time.
Amen.
But I get, I get nervous and want to do well. Don't want anybody to be disappointed. But it comes down, I need to stay present and go, we're here to have a good time and have fun and entertain. And what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Okay, maybe I'm not a television star, but I've got a family. That's why I say Reese Witherspoon, she would say to me, Leanne, she'd say it to me every day, you got to raise your own children. And I've had both the best worlds. I got to be with my little children, and they are who they are because we raised them in Knoxville, Tennessee, not in LA. They're who they're supposed to be.
Yeah, no.
That bougie baby, this baby child, she's in another room. The makeup artist, she's bougie. She tells everybody everywhere she goes, if we had gone to LA when I was in 4th grade, she said, I'd be on crack cocaine.
Yeah, she's like, here we go.
That's why we're raising our kids in Fort Worth.
Yeah, that's why Eric made us move. I got pregnant.
Yeah, she said, I would be on Prada.
Oh, my God.
She's on crack.
I love her.
Okay, Fort Worth, I played, it's next to Dickey Stadium.
Bass Hall?
Dickey's Arena.
Or Will Rogers?
I think you did Will
Rogers.
We were there.
I did. Y'all did come to
We were there. I was there at that one. I was there. I've gone to you 3 times. Once in Dallas.
Sadie, I didn't know that.
2 in Fort Worth and 2 in Dallas, once in Fort Worth.
You don't.
I know.
Well,
I've
did
always
not.
loved you.
Oh, you angel. Well, you don't. I'm hoping I can go back and be at Dickie's next time.
Yes.
And also, we tried to get Majestic in Dallas to shoot my special, and they are going to shut down at that time of year to redo some stuff, and we couldn't get it. So I'm going to do it in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Bummer.
But I wanted to do it in Texas because Texas is a big state for me.
Oh my! That's what I have to say.
I got started in Austin, Texas, is where I got started doing comedy. San Antonio, but then I drive to Austin because they had a better club. But I still did the San Antonio that was in the mall. That was fun.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, all right. I know y'all got
no,
things to
I
do. I'm in
love
love with y'all. You know what? If I'm a country grandmama, if I lived near you, I would be cooking pinto beans, and I would get a big thing of cornbread going, and y'all could work, and I'd tend to y'all's kids, and I would wash. And I would make sure that your shirts were ironed nice so that you could still be cute.
Yeah.
You
And he
are
likes
a
to feel
dream.
cute.
You are a dream.
I love you. And
What kind of breeches are those?
These might be my bougie. Yeah, these might be my bougie.
I made him dress up a little
These
for
are
you
sevens.
today.
What are the bougie ones?
Sevens.
Sevens.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But Wranglers are, right? Wranglers are the
Yeah,
best.
Wranglers are the go-to for sure.
Charlie Morgan loves a Wrangler, but Chuck Morgan will wear Page every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
But sevens.
I'd say Seven
I
and
just
Page
need
are
to
very
find-
similar.
Okay. Because Charlie, his wife will say he needs a nice pair of jeans. And I just don't know what kind.
And I've
but
had these for years, and they still look like they're new. That's why I
that
love
was
them
one
so
of my
much.
like first wedding. I mean, probably 10 years now.
Amazing, amazing jeans.
And they're a straight leg.
Yes, ma'am.
Over that Tacova boot.
Yep, that's it.
We'll send you all the lengths. Okay.
You got it. You got it. Well, you go
Leanne,
enjoy your
I
day.
love you
This
so
has just
much.
been such a treat.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
I love y'all.
You are. I'm just so proud of you, and just don't forget us, little people. I know you never will, but I appreciate you from being everything and more that you are. And I can't wait for you to win your Emmy Award or your Oscar. I don't know which will be first. I kind of think an Emmy for this series.
Definitely a SAG Award is going to be season 1. You know, we're going to, all the things. All the things.
We'll be all cheering you
y'all.
on.
Thank y'all. Well, this is an old-timey sitcom with an audience, and they, we tried to do, I think Chuck Lorre wanted to do more of like a Kaminsky method, one camera. I mean, and not an audience and all that, and come to Knoxville and shoot some of it. And that's what I thought, I wanted to do. And then Netflix, they were like, please let us try to get well, they said this, and I thought, oh my Lord, I wish I hadn't heard this. They go, we think Leanne Morgan can bring back the traditional sitcom. And I thought, don't put that on my head.
No, but you can.
It has to. I mean,
there's nothing there's nothing like a live studio audience.
No, and there are none. So we've got to, this is it. It's comeback time. It's comeback time.
It needs it.
Thank you.
I love you so much. Tell Chuck and the family I love them, and you keep us updated. If you literally need anything in LA, let us know. We are
okay, because I know nothing.
Oh,
I know
anything
nothing.
you call us. And then when we come, you got to stay at the Beverly Hills Hotel with us. You got to come
Okay,
slumber.
I would love to. I've always wanted to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we got to get the girls, and we'll do
And this
slumber.
bougie baby will
I
want
was
to.
about to say,
Moppers will get you all the best room in the house.
we'll all go together. It'll be so fun.
Oh, my Lord. Okay, and we need to bring Maggie that's dating Tristan because she's in nonprofit and barely has shoes.
No, and I want Maggie.
Okay.
Maggie Morgan. I got to have my bestie stay with me.
Yeah, and she's fun.
Oh,
She's
no,
fun.
we'll do conjoined rooms, the suite. Oh, we'll give you the Molly Reed special.
Oh,
I love
okay.
you so much.
Mwah.
I
Thank
love
you.
you
Thank y'all.
so
Enjoy
much.
your
I love y'all.
Glamour.
Grit. Glamour.
Grit.